If you can call him lucky, he is one of the survivors of the latest Israeli airstrike. This one Friday night in the east of Gaza City that reportedly killed 5 people, including 2 children and 2 women. There was a desperate search for survivors in the rubble. And as Muslims prepare to celebrate the feast of Eid, the first one since the Gaza war started, there is no feasting here and no reason to celebrate.
There is no money and there is no work. Our house was destroyed. Our land that had a farm from which we sold lemons and oranges was bulldozed. All our money is gone.
Another blow to the humanitarian effort. The U.S. military is getting ready to temporarily remove the pier it constructed off Gaza's coast because of rough sea conditions. The pier had been the launching point for about 900 metric tons of aid. And the United Nations Food Agency says a water and sanitation catastrophe is unfolding in southern Gaza.
People are camping on the streets, on the beach, at best with some piece of shelter. But we were driving through rivers of sewage. It's just a terrible, terrible situation.
Meantime, the U.S. on Friday imposed sanctions on an Israeli group whose activists have been blocking Gaza-bound aid convoys. The U.S. says the group, Tzav 9, is a violent extremist group that has damaged aid trucks and dumped life-saving aid onto the ground. At the G7 summit in Italy, U.S. President Joe Biden admitted that getting to a Gaza ceasefire was going to be tough. Hamas and Israel seem reluctant to make full-throated endorsements of the 3-part ceasefire plan now on the table. And as thousands took to the streets Friday in Yemen to protest Israel's attacks on Gaza, Houthi rebels there arrested more than a dozen aid workers, accusing them of being part of a U.S.-Israeli spy network, something the UN denies. The Houthis have targeted more than 50 vessels in the Red Sea in near-daily attacks, mostly repelled by the U.S. Navy. Those attacks paused during the temporary ceasefire late last year. Just more incentive to get there again. Andy Roesgen, TRT World.